In this video, we will continue with coordinate geometry. You will find this on page 126 in the Namibian AS-Level Mathematics textbook, y equals mx+c to success. The diagram shows a trapezium ABCD in which BC, let's just check, BC is parallel to AD and angle BCD is equal to 90 degrees. The coordinates of A, B, and D are this respectively. Okay. Find the equation of BC and CD. So BC and CD. So BC is parallel to AD, so I can find the gradient. So if I know this gradient, that will be the same as that gradient. So the gradients are equal. So work out the gradient of AD because you have 2 points there. So if I work it out, I get a half. But now, just remember that if this gradient is a half, due to the fact that they are parallel, then this gradient will also be a half. Okay. Now, I'm going on. So if I must know this is a half, so I have a point, this is my point, and the gradient, and I use my formula. So I substitute the point in, I substitute the gradient, and that is my equation of BC. Now, I must remember, I must also find CD. Now, that is perpendicular. So if this gradient is a half, then this one is perpendicular. So this one will be -2. Oh, I cannot see it clear there. So this one will be -2. So it's the reciprocal and it's different signs. So it's -2. And I have again a point. So I do exactly the same and I get CD. Okay. This was perpendicular. This was making use of parallel lines. Now calculate the coordinates of C. Now this is, to find that is to see where these equations intersect. Okay, so you solve them simultaneously. So to find C, solve the equation simultaneously. You substitute the one in the other one, you find x, and then you substitute x in one of the equations, and you find y. And that's how you do it. Okay. I want you to stop the video. I want you to do triangle 17, number 1. Again, you can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Let's start. Number 1. Now, the diagram shows a rectangle. So you must think of the properties of a rectangle. So as soon as in coordinate, they talk about a figure. You go back to ordinary, go back to grade 9, back to grade 8, and make sure you know the properties of the difference. So for example, I know that the rectangle is having 90-degree angles. I know that the opposite sides are parallel and equal. Okay, that's a few of the points. So make sure, because that properties can help you to calculate the values. So the diagram shows a rectangle. B is this and C is on the x-axis. Okay, this is also very important. Underline very important information. That's A. That's B. Okay. And don't forget that it's a rectangle. Find the equation of BC. Now, first look. BC. Now, the problem is I don't have 2 points. I also don't have the gradient in 1 point. But I have 2 points here. Do you see? I know it's perpendicular. So if I find the gradient of this between A and B, I can just take the perpendicular and I can find the gradient of this one. And I have a point, and then I can basically follow that method. Now let's start. We're first going to start. Okay, let's just write A. I'm going to write my point A. Now what is A? It's 2 and 14. And I'm going to write my point B. Now what is B? It's -2 and 8. And basically, I'm first going to find the gradient of AB. So the gradient of AB. Now, don't forget the way I do this is I call x1, y1. Doesn't matter which one is 1 or 2. As long as this is 2, then this is also 2. So if I find the gradient, Now, don't forget the gradient is m. And it's the difference in y. So it's going to be, so if I start with this one, so it's y2 minus y1. So it's 8 minus 14. Start with this one again. Difference in x, negative 2, negative 2, minus that 2. So 8 minus, it's negative 6 over negative 4. And that's positive 3 over 2. But I'm looking for the perpendicular one. So I say perpendicular. Just take another color. Therefore, the perpendicular BC, and the gradient will be change the signs and swap it around. That's basically what you do. So now I'm going to find the equation of BC. Right. So let's just go on. Equation of BC. And now don't forget, what do I have? I have this and I have the point. So I know that m is of that is 2/3. And I have the point. What point do I have on it? I have b. And I'm going to use b. Negative 2 and 8. And don't forget that this is x1 and this is y1 and there is my m. So let's just move it up. And let's just start. So I'm going to say y minus y1. Don't always use this formula now. X minus x1. Okay, so y minus 8, the gradient minus 2 over 3, and then x minus, don't forget it's a negative, put it in brackets. So it's going to be y minus 8 equals negative 2 over 3 x, and don't forget this becomes positive. And then it multiplies, so it's negative 4 over 3. Let's just going to see. This is going to be positive. So 2, so it's, it's going to be 4. Yes, it's correct. You can put it in, but just it's becoming a positive. And then you multiply. I just want to take another color. And then it's becoming positive 2. And you multiply with negative 2 over 3. Put it over 1. And that's where I got the negative 4 over 3. Do you see that? Now, you must still bring this constant over. Now, I just keep to my white. So it's y equals negative 2 over 3x. So it's minus 4 over 3 plus 8. Okay. And basically, if you want, you can just use a calculator also. I'm going to show you in red again. So minus 4 over 3 plus 8, it's 24 over 3. So it's going to be negative 20 over 3. Negative 20 over 3. And if you must simplify it, it's negative 6 and 2/3. Okay, but don't forget, it's not negative 20, it's positive. Because the biggest was positive, so it's positive 6. So therefore, BC, y equals negative 2 over 3 plus 6 and 2/3. Okay. Now I move on. What is the next question? The coordinate of C and D. So if I want to find the coordinate of C, don't forget it's where it cuts. D is on the x-axis. So if I want, I think I'll just move up. So let's just go to B. So I'm going to find point C. And don't forget it's the x-intercept, x-coordinate. And I'm going to, if I want to find where it cuts the x-axis, I see I forgot the x there. Okay, if I want to see where it cuts the x-axis, I make y 0. So I'm just going to put y equals negative 2 over 3x plus 6 and 2/3. Okay, and if I'm simplifying this, let's just move this to this side. So it's going to be negative 6 and 2/3 equals negative 2 over 3x. So I divide by negative 2/3, and I really just want you to use your calculator at your work on speed. Okay, so it's going to be negative 6, ABC 2, ABC 3, divide, it's again negative, and negative 2, ABC 3 equals, and what do I get? 10. So therefore, x is 10. So basically, the point C, so I'm going to say therefore, C, and don't forget it's the x value, so it's 10 and 0. Okay, but what did they ask? Find the coordinate of C, that's excellent. And now, how am I going to find the coordinate of D? Now, this is actually very interesting. I'm actually making use of vectors, but you can use ordinary type of vectors. So I can just basically see, there's another method where you can first work out this, what equation do you have now? You have equation CD, okay, and then equation AD and solve it simultaneously, but that's very, very long. Let's just rather write it in here. I'm just going to make this is 10 and 0. Okay. Now, if I'm going to look at that points, I'm just going to see what movement was made to go to this. It's like I compare this one with this one. So if I go from negative 2 to 2, so how many units did I move? I moved 2 and 2. So basically, and I'm just going to use, and I'm going to explain it here, and then I will try to write it as a vector. So basically, I was moving 4 units. Let's just get my pen correct. I was moving 4 units. 2, and then again 2. And then from 8 to 14, how many units did I was moving 6. And this is now exactly the same that I will do here. Okay. Take it first in red. So I'm going to also move 4 units. I'll just make it blue. And I'm also going to move up 6 units. So if I move 4 units in this, it will be 10 plus 4, so that will be 14. And this will be 0 plus 6, so this is going to be 6. And what is my point D going to be then? My point D is going to be 14 and 6. Okay, so if I can just show you in terms of vectors, I'm just going to say it's going to be, in the teacher's guide, I did that method, and you can just check there. Okay, so it's going to be, okay, let me try to write it down. Maybe it will be good if I write it down. So it's going to be, I'm just going to copy. Okay. So it's going to be 2 minus negative 2. And it's actually, Inge Moore helped me with the teacher's guide. She actually worked it out and typed it. And she's from Namibian High School. She did a brilliant job. Okay, so basically, so I'm just going to say 14 minus 8. So that's basically what I showed you there. So that's 4 and that's 6. And then I will get 4 and 6. And then it's x minus 10, y minus 0. And therefore, I can say, if I simplify this, I'm just going to say, therefore, x is 14. Can you see if you make that equation and take it over? And y is equal to 6. Okay. And that's also, but at the end, let's just see if I was writing the point D down. So therefore, I think I wrote it there on top down. Can I just show you? 14 and 6. So it's 14 and 6. And that is going to be the question answered. What is the question asked you? Find the coordinates of C and